I think there's a mistake here.
We've been on this call literally for less than 1 minute and we're pitching. I don't like that.
And in fact, he's just slightly getting in the way.
Why? That's my question.
What's he doing here?
Sometimes it's so easy, don't screw it up.
Here's what I would suggest. Cash call, everybody. Dale Archdeacon, Brian Curtis, back again. You're welcome. We're here. I know you've been staring at YouTube, just clicking the refresh, waiting for another episode to drop. And we're here now. Right, Brian?
You know, it's great to be here. You know, we got holiday coming up and it's always hard to get stuff. But, you know, we both set aside some time today. I was happy that we were able to, coordinate our schedules with everything so that we can give one more before the end of the month so that people can have something to be thankful for, right?
To help you digest your Thanksgiving meal.
Absolutely.
All right. So what do you got for us today, Brian?
You know, I've got a kind of an interesting call, and this has kind of been a theme of the calls that I've had lately. And in some ways, I'm happy about that because we get an appointment and the outcome of this call ends up being just perfectly fine. But one of the things that I like to point out and stuff like this is just because the outcome is fine doesn't mean you took the best approach to get there. And I'm sure you've seen that so many times too. Sometimes the buyer or seller just like, even how bad you screw up, they still want you, right? And so, right. And we can obviously not use that as a baseline for how we want to behave. So again, this isn't a horrible call. A great agent, relatively new, been doing it about 6 months, but closes pretty consistently and a very strong agent. And there's some huge opportunities to do a better job listening and not stepping on the client. I think that's probably the two themes of this call for me.
Hi, this is. How you doing?
Hey, good.
So you're looking at. Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you have time around 5:15 to show this property?
I do.
Let me give you a little background. It was transferred from Realtor.com, and he obviously knew the property. He's tried to get in, and she's just like, "Do I have time to see this property today?" At 5? I mean, she has a goal. You know, when someone's focused on a goal that is in alignment with our goal, one of the things I believe we should do is get the hell out of the way and not try and be in control. And you'll see what happens further in the call. And again, it doesn't screw it up, but I don't like it, and I want to hear Dale's feedback on that as well.
Okay.
And I was going to let you know too. So you're looking at a townhouse. And right?
Yeah, I actually live 2 doors down from it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I was going to let you know that because my wife and I also have a townhouse listed, and it's not in this area, but it sounds like you're very particularly interested in this if you live 2 doors down.
Right.
Why? That's my question.
What's he doing here? I
appreciate that at some point in time we want to sell our listing. I want to sell our listing. I think it'd be amazing if we got both sides of the listing. And this call looks like it's been a minute and 51 seconds, but honestly, I fast forwarded through about a minute of the RDC rep. So we've been on this call literally for less than 1 minute and we're pitching. I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I don't like it either. And it also just kind of muddies the waters. And not that I haven't done it before too, where you get excited and you're like, oh, let me throw this on there, or let me throw that on. Hey, what about this other opportunity for you? I've definitely done it multiple times, but now that we're listening to it, don't do that. Don't muddy the waters. Keep it simple until they really know you and have more rapport or trust built. Then you can throw some extra stuff in there.
Exactly. So let's listen to a little bit more.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This is something that my husband and I and our daughter are thinking about purchasing together.
Okay. Okay, great. So 5 o'clock today, is that what you said?
Well, my daughter doesn't get off work until around 5 o'clock, and it'll take her anywhere but around 15 minutes to get here.
Okay.
You know, she might be here before, but then that way it would be in that same little safety zone window of when she can get here.
Sure. Well, we can go ahead and shoot for 5:30. I know I'll try to get you in. Go ahead.
This is, again, the lack of listening. This woman wants 5:15. She said she wants 5:15. Give her 5:15. Unless there's a reason that we can't, like the seller can't do it. But I know we haven't talked to the seller yet because, so.
We're on the phone.
Just sometimes it's so easy. Don't screw it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it's an important lesson because I think we so often get caught up in, I got to handle this objection. I got to push this person. Sometimes I want to go see the house because I'm really interested in it is the best thing that you can say and be happy.
Well, she's usually like, So 5:15 is not going to work?
Oh, 5:15 will work great. I just wanted to give you
Okay,
enough
perfect.
window. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
5:15
No,
is great.
5:15 is like giving us pretty good window.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll schedule it for 5:15, and we should still have some sunlight. So, because I always like to try to show when we've got some sun out. But again, if you're 2 doors down, you know this property. I'm imagining.
Again, who cares?
What is he doing?
This guy's a great agent, but he's just trying to go to the next level. It's not benefiting him. Again,
I feel like somehow he's on his back foot and feels like he hasn't demonstrated value or something, or knowledge, or some measure of sort of control. Like, I feel like he isn't selling from what the position he's used to selling from, and it's making him just say random stuff.
yeah, I don't care that you like to see houses when it's light outside. I don't care. And literally this woman's told her she lives 2 doors down. She knows more about the outside of this house than he does. He's probably never seen it. I mean,
She is the expert here, son. Just go open the door.
sometimes that's what we got to do. And that's kind of my point here. So we'll listen to a little bit more.
So
I've never
okay.
been in it. I've never
Right.
been in it, but we just noticed yesterday that it was on the market, and
Okay.
we thought, well, we'll just check it out and see,
Sure.
and go from there.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to just send you the listing information on the other townhouse that we have
Sure.
listed as well, because it is larger. The square footage is larger, and it's priced less than this one.
Oof. Gosh. All right. Here's what I would suggest. I'm okay with him promoting the idea of also looking at the other one at the same time to give more value. What I'd suggest that he would do when he was doing the fumbling about the looking during the daylight and stuff like that, I think it was a wasted opportunity. We already discussed not doing that, but it's a wasted opportunity. He should be running down the, hey, you and your daughter are buying this together. Tell me about that. That's exciting. How did you guys decide to do that? What kind of arrangement is that going to be? Is she going to be living there herself? Is it going to be an investment property? Take that time to understand who they are and build a rapport and make a productive conversation out of it. Then you can talk about, hey, I'm excited to go look at this one with you now that I know your story. By the way, I mentioned there was another one also listed. Would you like to take a look at that at the same time?
And I would even go a little bit different. I agree with everything you said. And this is the part I would do slightly different. The part I would do slightly different is I would just bring the MLS sheet with me. I would call my seller. It's my listing. Hey, I'm showing this townhouse over here on, I think was the address of it. And I just want to know if I want to bring somebody over to see yours, because I'm going to, even though they didn't ask about yours, I'm going to tell them about your property. Would you be okay with us coming over, between 5:30 and 6 to take a look at yours as well? I'll text you if we're going to come. Does that work? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or no, that doesn't work. And now you're solving a problem. But if these people walk into this townhouse and they love it, sell them that townhouse. Literally she lives at 10 and this one's at 6 or some version of that. I mean, it's their neighbor, and maybe she wants the daughter next door. Maybe the daughter wants to be next door. Maybe the daughter doesn't, but we don't know that because, to your point, we didn't ask the question.
Kind of a lost opportunity. And again, he's probably inexperienced because you said he's newer and he's on the back foot. He's lost in the conversation.
We've got to go with the flow. One of the things, and you and I both are kind of following this thing, we don't teach a lot of scripts. Why don't we teach a lot of scripts? Well, because the seller, the buyer, the other person, they don't get the script. So you only got half the script, right? And this is an example of there's no script for this. This is just have a conversation, be a regular person, have a conversation, stop trying to sell, and get in front of these people. See what they want, build rapport with them, and then become their agent, then bring them more value. But hell, this might be a one showing, get a deal. I like one showing, get a deal. I don't know about you, but those are my favorite if I'm going to work as a buyer's agent.
I'll take 100 of those a year.
Anyway, overall, like I say, it did work out. They got the appointment and all of that, but we missed an opportunity, in my opinion, and it sounds like yours too. Just build some rapport. What's the hardest part about real estate, in my opinion? I don't know how you feel about that, is getting the appointment, right? Once you do that, then you can just be a person. You don't have to sell anymore. I literally think you could probably show this house to this person. There's about a 75% chance she's going to go, yeah, let's write an offer.
Yeah.
That's the feel that I got.
In this case, it has absolutely nothing to do with the agent. And in fact, he's just slightly getting in the way.
Yes. So, it's funny. Get the hell out of the way is something I talk about all the time, not necessarily in real estate, but in life. How often are we in our own damn way? I know I get in mine. Like I outsmart myself all the damn time.
Absolutely. Well, the one that I have today, a little bit of a head scratcher. So this is a Zillow inbound quote unquote seller lead. It is one of those flex leads, seller leads, where I'm not sure if the person said, hey, I want a cash offer or I'm open to a cash offer. It's something like that, but this person is motivated to sell, or at least has said they want to talk to somebody about something about selling. So, and I want to pick this apart to see what advice we would give for those people listening.
Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's play it.
Looks like you inquired about putting your home on the market. Is that correct?
Yes.
Alrighty, and tell me a little bit about it.
It's a typical suburban home, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, full basement, open concept. Most of the infrastructure has been replaced. So it has a new furnace, new hot water heater, new water softener, new roof, new appliances. I'm putting in new flooring. It's in good shape. No kids, no smoking.
You hear the way this woman's describing her house?
Yeah, I was going to say very transactional. Analytical is another way to put it. Say, yeah, just bam, 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 bam,
Yep.
right?
She's very analytical. So for the listeners, I want you to pay attention to that, because it will have an impact on the way that you should talk to that person, how much emotion you can bring into the conversation versus you probably should not try to, how warm and fuzzy you can be versus how pragmatic you need to be, so that, it's just important to pay attention to how somebody's talking, and the way they describe things, especially something that's important to them like their house, can tell you a lot about what their personality style is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I meet people where they're at is a very simple way to say what Dal. I mean, you elaborated, but that's what we're trying to do. Meet them where they're at. Don't be the person who's flexible, right? Don't make them change. You're the one who should change. You're the salesperson.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds like you know what you're doing there. Was there a particular? It looked like you were looking to sell within the next 3 to 6 months. Is that correct?
Yeah, I need to be out of here by May.
Okay. And then what were you looking to do after? Were you looking to find a smaller home, or?
I'm looking in another state.
Oh, okay. So you're just looking to put this one on the market and then get out of Indiana, it sounds like, correct?
Yeah, you bet.
All right. Well, I can tell you what I can do is
Before he gets there, with this person, I would ask for permission to ask where she's going, to see if I can build rapport with her. Hey, just out of curiosity, would you mind if I asked where you're going to? And see what she says. The reason that I would ask for permission in this case is because of how analytical she's presenting herself and how matter of fact she's presenting herself. And notice when he said, wow, it sounds like you really know what you're doing there. And she said, uh-huh. Like, huge amount of confidence.
We're going to find a little bit more information out about this woman coming, because you and I actually listened to some of this before, and that information to me describes why she's acting the way she is, and I think you know what I'm talking about. So we'll just let it play.
I will put this address down and I'll input it into what I'd call a comparative market analysis, and I'll figure out what the home would sell for in today's market currently. But it's sometimes that can be tough to do without seeing it. Is there a time that works best for you that I could maybe come by and sit down and have a 10-minute conversation and just give me a tour of the home?
Now, I think there's a mistake here, and this guy's a newer salesperson. Here's the mistake that I see for me personally. Anytime that I'm going to tell somebody that I'm going to, quote, figure out what their house would sell for, I better find out if they, 1, already think they know what it's going to sell for, or 2, have already talked to somebody to get an opinion of value, right? Because that will shoot you in the ass if you do not find those out first. In this case, the lady said okay and went along with it. But Brian, how many times have we heard, I know what my house will sell for, it's going to be X, Y, or Z, right? Or, oh, I already talked to somebody and here's how much it's going to sell for, which totally just eliminates your initial close for that meeting to see the property to determine the value.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know about you, Dale, but I love knowing what the seller wants or thinks
Yes.
it's worth. One of those, if they've got a number, that is such powerful information. How many times do you walk to a listing appointment, you know exactly what that house is worth, and they walk in and they're like, yeah, well, you need 100 grand more, and you're not prepared. I mean, you're prepared because you're a good, solid agent, but you're not prepared for that question. Gather as much information as you can so that you know how to load the gun, so you got some bullets to shoot when you get there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So my advice to the listeners is from experience, one of the better ways to ask this question would be, got it. Okay. So let me ask you, have you thought about what you feel your home is worth or should sell for in the market, or are you looking for my opinion on that?
Yep.
So I'm giving these two options because I literally have been in a conversation where I said, hey, how much do you think it's worth? And the prospect got angry with me and said, well, I'm talking to you to find that out. Why would I call you if I knew what it was worth? Right? You've probably heard that one too before.
I do, and so I use this out of curiosity. Do you have a number in mind that you're thinking of selling your house for? That's the one I like because, yeah, I've got a number in mind. Okay, would you share that number with me? Sometimes they won't, by the way. Sometimes they'll be like, I want to know what your number, so you got all those things, but open up the conversation either way so that you have someplace to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I'll give everybody this tip too. Sometimes if the seller doesn't want to give you a number, sometimes I'll say, okay, got it. Well, I just need a ballpark. Are we talking like, 5,000 or 5 million? Like narrow it down for me. That's
Yeah.
a way of help getting them to be like, oh no, like this number.
And it's great when you get a number that's low. There's nothing better to go into a listing appointment and go, I know you told me you wanted 350 for your house. I think we can easily get 400. That's one of the best things ever, right? And
It is.
again, if you don't know that number, you didn't know that you just, gave them good news.
Yeah, it is. And then, of course, because we're salty old dogs, we have to give the funny story of where you have that conversation. They think it's going to be lower. You show up, you're going to be the champion or the hero, right? You get it under contract, and they're getting 30,000 more, 50,000 more than they thought, and they want to throw the deal out over like $1,000 light fixture, and you're like, wait a minute. I got you an extra 30 or 50. What is wrong with you? Where's your head? Right.
It is interesting. I'm a firm believer that something happens the second you sign a listing contract or a buyer's contract. You lose half of your brain. You're unable to use half of your mental capacity. Like, how many times have you gotten a house under contract really quickly and then the seller goes, "Oh crap, did we sell it too low?" No,
Right. We sold it too cheap. You get those shaky sellers. The offer comes in full price, really awesome terms, really fast. And you're like, oh man, should I call the agent on the other side and be like, hey, we should wait a little bit on this? Can we give me a day or two? Like, this is going to cause problems if this offer comes in this fast.
Can you offer $10,000 less so that I can counter offer and my seller will think I did a great job?
Tales from the front lines is what I would say. We need
Awesome.
to have like a series, Tales from the Front Lines of selling real estate.
There's really no time, Dan. I'm in a almost impossible situation here. My husband has just passed. I've got dogs. I've got two dogs here that are impossible, and I work full time.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, in that case, do you happen to have maybe any photos you could send me of the property?
I'm sorry to hear that. Just wait. See what she says, right? See if she wants to blow it off, if she wants to commiserate, if she wants to correct you, if she wants, just give her the space to do something next instead of continuing to charge down the path of let's get this done.
And my thought when we listen to this is, I don't know that this woman is analytical, only because, and I agreed 100% when you said it at the front end of the call, but she might just be not being interested in being in her feelings. Like if she starts talking about how her and her husband lived there for 30 years and they raised the kids there all of a sudden, I mean, I've never lost a spouse, but I'm going to guess that that's pretty traumatic. And I think in part, she just wants it simple and easy because she doesn't want to have to deal with she's already got to deal with all the rest of the stuff. She may just want someone to help her and so that she can deal not with the emotional part of it.
Yeah. And we also have a red flag now, right? Because listen, if I can't get to see your property because of dogs and work and everything else, how are the buyers going to see your property? So unless you
Yes.
want to fire sale it and take 30% or 60 or 40% less than what it's worth, we have to get in there. I'm not going to say that immediately, but I'm going to try to bring it up and address the issue. Not only that, but if I can't get face to face with you, it becomes even harder for me to secure that listing agreement or get you to work with me. And if I can't get face to face with you, even if I get that listing agreement signed, it's going to be harder to get a price reduction, a lockbox on the damn thing, pictures taken of it, right? Negotiating with you when an offer comes along, it just causes all sorts of difficulty if I can't actually work with you as a client.
And here's a question he could have asked, and it literally just came to me out of curiosity. What's your work schedule? You say you work full time. I get off work at 5 o'clock. Great. Can I come over at 6?
Yep.
And you'd sell it as a value. Like I really, I completely understand that, you're not available during the day. So what time do you get off work? 6 o'clock. You know what? I am happy to come over to your house at 6:30. I'm a real estate agent, and I know to be successful, sometimes I got to work after hours. Will something like that work for you? Like, figure it out a little bit more instead of just, how do I get the pictures? How do I get he's singularly focused on trying to determine how to do a good CMA is what it feels like.
In his defense, he's super new. Like, I think he got into real estate in 24.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give him this. I would rather have this guy because I can fix his scripts. He ain't afraid to ask a question. I like that. So nope. I can fix it.
It's on Zillow. The whole
currently listed right now?
No, it's not listed, but the whole thing, if you just put the property into Zillow, the whole thing will come up.
Okay, so yeah, so when I put it into Zillow and click, the listing that it has is one picture, and it shows me the exterior of the home. So I have a good idea of what the size of the home looks like in the exterior. But you said you did a bunch of updates, if you're replacing the floors, like that kind of stuff is huge and adds value to the home. So if you could send a picture of that to me at any point, that would be extremely helpful. Just kind of what's like the living room, what the home's current condition is in. It helps a lot.
Now, I think he did a good job using the fact that she did upgrades as an upsell to her to be like, hey, it's worth it. Like you've done a good thing here and it needs to be demonstrated. But again, Brian, as you mentioned, we got to get in front of her, right? I'm not just going to blind send you a CMA. In order for us to work together, I got to meet with you, got to see the property, got to work, do that kind of stuff. But I think for a first crack at this, he did a good job.
And I like where you went though. Like, don't make it about me. In other words, he made it a little bit too much about him. There's a third party that he can actually bring in here, and that third party is buyers. So, okay, I really appreciate that. And hey, I'm willing to be really flexible with you. It sounds like you're in a challenging situation. With that in mind, and watch the assumptive language. Once we get your house listed, what does that look like for the buyers? I mean, she wants to sell it. She's motivated. She says she's moving to Indiana. Something happens in May. I don't know. Maybe she's retiring in May or something. I don't know. But she has some motivation. Stop talking about what you want and start talking about what she wants. That may open her up.
Yep, absolutely. All right, good. Brian, Thanksgiving next week. I think we'll be off for next week. I'll be off with the family, eating too much, sitting on the couch.
My favorite holiday. It's about being thankful and eating. Like, two of my favorite things.
That's great.
I don't have to buy any presents. I don't have to get any presents. It's just turkey, mashed potatoes, all the good stuff. So I'm always excited.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Cash Call, Dale Archdegan, Brian Curtis. We'll be back again. Hey, if you like that training and you want to get some more, click the link that's in the description and you can join me on my masterclass, 4 Steps to Double Your Weekly Buyer and Seller Appointments. Come check it out. Come learn from me. I'm going to blow your mind with how you can get much better at getting inside the conversation with your prospect, overcoming objections, articulating your value, and booking more appointments with them. So if you want to explode your sales for 2025, come join me on the masterclass. You can find the link below. Thanks.